Hello everyone, Dean Vlamis here with Real Talk. So today we're going to be talking with Travis Wallace from Jameson Sothebys, located out of their Evanston office, but Travis deals North Shore and the city. What I like about him and what we'll find out is how he prepares his clients for the buying process. And he does a really good, thorough job and covers himself and keeps them really, really informed. So sit back and enjoy our talk with Travis. So let's talk a little about how you do that consultation, which I think is really, really important. From the mortgage side, I can't tell you how much easier my job is when I'm dealing with a client who's well informed. Mm-hmm. When you get the ones who are nervous and afraid, and I'm the last person they talk to, I'm also the least person they trust. Yeah. But that's a big deal because, again, keeping that consultation, what exactly do you go through to keep the borrowers informed? Because I think that's incredibly important.
So one, it's really just setting the stage, right? Setting the expectations from my end, their expectations of me, and also laying out the process. So again, my main shtick is really about 90% first-time home buyers, right? So that whole thing is scary to them, right?
Right. That's an opera word. Scary is what I see a lot of, right?
Right. To me, that process is easy because I do it every day. But really, I want to lay out every single step, who's needed, when things are needed, so that they understand what's going to happen. And really, I like to touch on that emotional side of it too, because one, first property, a lot of money, right? So the fear, hesitation will come into play. So I want to address those things up front, so that when we're in the actual transaction, the nitty-gritty of things, they're not afraid.
And there's no surprises, right? And there's no surprises, right?
So my consultations include, again, start to finish, and it includes the inspection report. We go through that so they can see what it actually looks like.
Right.
An inspector's job is to find every single thing wrong with the property, right?
Right.
So if they get that inspection report right after the inspection, like, oh my gosh, what's going on here?
Right.
Again, setting the stage up front, so when they get it in real time, they know what to expect, right? Even with a contract, we're going through that up front so that when we sign in a crazy, we have 2 hours to submit an offer, they understand what's in the contract, right? They're talking to an attorney up front, they know what's going on, so they're not, freaked out again when we're in the transaction. Don't have an update. Be like, hey, everything's moving great. Just wanted to check in with you.
Correct.
So really, communication is huge,
and that's important, right? Like so, what do you tell people now with spring market? Typically the term the spring market, things are heating up, but you have again now we have a high, not a high interest rate environment, but higher than a few years ago, and low inventory. So it's when you have a situation where it's less inventory, this is what's there, take it or leave it. I'm sure that's not what you say, but how do you approach something like that? So
again, we're going back to the consult. We're talking about time and expectations, all that kind of stuff. We're talking about, you're going to expect multiple offers. What does that look like, right? I tell my buyers, you're not going to get it until you get it. You're going to lose out on 2 or 3, maybe even 4 properties before you get it. Because if you're jumping in right away, you're like, I don't want to give as is. I don't want to go above, but then you might run the numbers later on. It's like, oh, maybe 5, 10 over. Probably not big of a difference, monthly payments.
Correct. And it's not a big difference at all. That's a big thing, important thing, that 5,000 over amortized over 30 years is almost nothing.
My big thing really is the appraisal. So I never ever want to run into an appraisal issue, but again, we talk about that up front. If it comes in low, what are our expectations? Are we going to pay that difference? Are we going to try to negotiate? Are we going to go to the mortgage side? What does that really look like?
Sometimes, as you mentioned, with a lot of first-time home buyers, they can get almost offended by the other side because that's the back and forth in negotiations. Every attorney is just doing their job, and so that's part of you walking them through that, right?
Even when you submit an offer, I tell my clients, I give them 24 hours to respond. After that, then I'll bug them. I already see what's going on, because that waiting game is scary, right? They're like, does someone else come in? Do they not like our offers? Setting all those expectations up front is huge.
That's a lot. It's, as we're redoing this, I'm realizing, especially with the first-time home buyers, what a lot you go through. You have to hold their hand, and you're their Linus, their comfort blanket. So
you got to be very patient and I'm a very even kill kind of person, and I have that personality.
That's really good. That's a good thing, right? So that's a really, really good thing. So what are your predictions then for the this upcoming year? What do you see? I mean, I don't think it's as strong a spring market we've had in years past. So
no, and just kind of going back to making sure I get the right data, from the National Association of Realtors, Morgan Stanley, people are saying when are the price is going to drop. I don't see that happening. I see, things stabilizing or going a little higher, to be honest. But, I know more than me, but interest rates should hopefully settle down.
That's what
the last quarter or so.
And like you said, you're looking up information. That's the same thing I do. And when you say the information you're accessing, what I'm accessing, it's not CNBC, like the sky's falling. It's okay, even during a recessionary time, real estate does really, really well. And the dip they've seen is such a small dip compared to, the years of accelerated growth. So I agree with you with this, the information I've been looking at. We do have a short-term spike in interest rates, but I do think that eventually they'll be coming down. So this was good stuff. I'm glad, I appreciate you coming out. Travis Wallace with Jameson Sothebys. a rising star not only in the city but in the North Shore too. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So.